Hey everyone, it's Chris Gio of TruthFrequencyRadio.com. It is December 12th, 2015, and I got to the studio this afternoon and read some pretty disturbing information. It seems like Art Bell, who is now 70 years old, is retiring. And under normal circumstances, that wouldn't be a problem, except for the circumstances leading up to his decision to retire are quite chilling and are really weighing heavily on my heart. So I want to get into that here in just a moment and just kind of illustrate what we as on-air personalities go through. But first, I want to tell you why I'm so heavy in my heart. Because Art Bell and George Norrie as well as Coast to Coast, the entire crew, they really have inspired Truth Frequency Radio, and they've inspired the shows that we do as well. Back in 2005, I was driving back from Beaumont, going to Houston after a George Carlin presentation. And I turn on the radio, and lo and behold, it is George Norrie interviewing Brooks Agnew about the arc of millions of years. That was the first time I heard any talk radio that wasn't left-right paradigm or sports. I didn't know this kind of talk radio existed, but once I heard it, I was absolutely hooked. I mean, the esoteric stuff that they get into, the ufology, the ghost stories. I started listening to one show after another, and went through all the George Norrie archives and all the Art Bell archives as well, and even drove my then girlfriend absolutely crazy to the point to where she was pulling her hair out because I was listening to so much talk radio. Well, lo and behold, 10 years later, we've created Truth Frequency Radio with 34 on-air personalities, including Brooks Agnew as one of the personalities we have on our station. And I get to work one-on-one with Brooks and so many other people. And we've really taken the genre to the next level with people like Seven Bomar and just a list of incredible hosts that we have, as well as the actual shows that we do. So just yesterday, we had Alfred Weber on. We were talking about the holographic reality. We were talking about star myths. The day before, we were talking about twin flame energy, forbidden archaeology, archons, cinema symbolism, chakras, and really esoteric ideas. I don't think this type of talk radio would exist if it wasn't for Art Bell and George Norrie pioneering the way through Coast to Coast. So that's why I feel so connected to this energy, and that's why it's weighing so heavily on my heart to see this happening. I don't want to see Art off the air, but I understand why he's making that choice to do so right now. He posted back in November 24th, there's been a serious incident at my residence. I will not be on air tonight, but I will explain tomorrow. And this was right around Thanksgiving of this year. And then an article was posted on Before It's News, which detailed the what was going on behind the scenes. So it starts out by saying, last night, Art Bell canceled his program Midnight in the Desert at the last minute due to a serious incident which occurred. The description of the events told tonight on Thanksgiving Eve were quite chilling. So in a nutshell, what basically happened is Art got on the radio and explained that in October, somebody was at his property shooting firearms, which sounded like a rifle or shotgun or something, and there was actually a witness that saw this. Now, that instance alone may have very well been isolated, except for on November 18th, there was another incident which occurred where he received a phone call saying that if he went on air that night, that he and his family would be killed. It was a block number. They weren't able to track who it was, but that right there would be chilling in itself, because that clearly demonstrates that the situation that happened in October is related, and it is a concerted effort to have Art Bell quit doing radio. Another instance happened on November 23rd while he was interviewing Michio Kaku. He saw the security lights come on and actually saw a man crouched down near his studio window. And once the individual realized they had been seen, they took off into the darkness, but Art grabbed his gun, of course. And he's been dealing with the situation for the past couple of weeks, and his family has been absolutely terrified. He described the situation as terrorism on a personal level. So now let's fast forward to yesterday, which is December 11th, 2015. Art posts an announcement that he's officially quitting. I'm sorry to have to announce this, but I will not be on air tonight or any other night. Yes, I'm going to hang it up. Whoever this crazy person is, they're not stopping, and it has come to the point that we as a family do not feel safe and do not feel that it's worth the risk. While I think the person or persons are after me, my wife and now my daughters are really scared. The other night after the latest incident, my daughter was off in the corner in her bed, scared to death as the police cars came screaming up. And this statement was also reaffirmed a couple of hours later. So I made my decision after my wife told me about my daughter today. She was really scared. And I just have to take a step back and just communicate to everybody out there how disgusting these people are who would go and harass somebody's family at their home. The home is supposed to be the most protected and sanctified place that a person has. It's one thing to stalk somebody on the internet. We've been dealing with stalkers for 5 years. These are mentally insane people, mentally deranged, and they feel like they know us because they've been listening to us, even though we've never met. But it's always been internet stalking. But if it ever came to my home, I don't know how I would react. I probably would pull the trigger and end it right then and there. Of course, I can't say until I'm actually in a situation like that. Knock on wood, let's hope that never happens. But I don't blame Art for making this decision whatsoever. However, I do want to ask all of the listeners out there and everybody watching this video to send some positive energy and protective energy to Art Bell and to his family as well. We did a mass consciousness experiment, and this was modeled after what they did on Coast, where they asked all the listeners to focus their energy to divert and redirect a hurricane, and it actually worked. Well, a couple of months ago, we were surrounded by forest fires here in Washington. There were literally 10 forest fires all around us, and one just a few miles down the road from us, right in our backyard. And there was no rain on the forecast, and these fires were going out of control. So on a Saturday night, we asked all of the audience to focus their intention, and sure enough, the next day, it started pouring down, and the fires were controlled at that point. So the intent and consciousness actually does work. Now let's take that same energy and that same focus, and let's redirect that over to Art, because it is such a shame. It is such a travesty, and all of our love and all of our protective energy goes out from TFR to Art Bell in this time, and to your family as well. So, thank you so much for everything that you've done for talk radio and for pioneering this genre. And don't give up. Don't give up. But we understand, when it comes to family, that's when it gets really chilling. So everybody, kiss the one you love right now, because you never know when the last time is going to be. We will see you at truthfrequencyradio.com, your protection from deception. And again, thank you for the energy that you're sending over to Art Bell on our behalf. We love you.